Well, I could not have picked a better day to be out on the water. Blue skies, light winds, crystal clear water, and the best part is it's midweek, so there's not too many people out here, which means I'm going to go for a fish. But what I wanted to chat to you today about is some additions that I've added to my boat, which take it from being a good boat to a great boat, in my opinion. These are certainly not must-haves, but if you spend a lot of time out here boating and fishing, then these are some things you can add to make your experience and your time out here just that little bit better. Yes, these are going to cost a little bit of money, but if you spend a lot of time out here, then that might be an investment that you're willing to make. Now, if you spend a lot of time out on the water, like I do, whether that be fishing or boating, you're going to need to refuel. And I don't mean refueling your boat, I mean refueling yourself. You got to stay hydrated, have something to eat. And let's be honest, every now and then you just want a cold beverage. Now, let's talk about the old school way of doing that and the new school way of doing that. Traditionally, you might have a cooler, you get a bag of ice, you chuck it in there, and if you catch a fish throughout the day, that goes in there too, along with your lunch and your drinks. And it just gets a bit messy. It turns into a big slurry and it stinks. The new school system, which is what I'm running now, which you might like, my seat at the helm here is now a fridge with ice cold drinks in it. Check that out. You might be wondering, how do I get to that point? Well, it's this thing here. This is a portable battery system. It's got a 100 amp lithium battery inside, which is super lightweight compared to old batteries. And it allows me to run a bunch of accessories off here, whether it be my phone, whether it be this fridge, whether it be a second set of lights if I want to light up the boat at night. It's just super handy to have. So how it works, I grab this plug, it goes into this socket, and then that is powering my fridge, which means I can have a couple cold drinks in here, some waters, some food, maybe a non-alcoholic beer if you're that way inclined, and you can enjoy your time out on the water just that little bit more than having to dig through an ice slurry of fishy mess sometimes. Well, today I'm fishing out of the 481 Crossfire, which is a 4.81 metre boat, a medium-sized boat, which already has a really good casting deck and plenty of fishing room. But I think an underutilised space on a lot of boats that I see is the gunnels here, which increases your fishing room. But if you don't have any decking on the gunnels, it can be quite a dangerous place to fish, and oftentimes people don't even fish on top of there because they're not game to, which is why I recommend this stuff here. This is U-Deck, and essentially what it is, it's a soft decking that sits on top of your gunnels, and you can put it in other places too, which has a range of different purposes. But the first one is it creates for a really non-slip surface all around your gunnels, which means I can run and fish 360 degrees on this boat and fight a fish, go down the back, stand up the back if I'm casting, and just feel super safe. The second one is it takes all the sound out of the side of the boat. So if you're putting things up on the gunnels, it's not aluminium on aluminium and it's really loud, which is really important with fishing. You got to remember, you've got to be stealthy to catch a fish. And the final one is the aesthetics. It takes this boat from looking like a bare boat, and they still look pretty good, but when you put decking on it, it just really cleans it up. It's got a measuring mat on it. It's got some really nice black detailing. And if I was getting a boat tomorrow and wanted to take it to that next level, take it from good to great, that would be the first thing I'd be putting on it. Well, these days we don't leave home without our phone. We love that connectivity to our friends and family and our entertainment. So why should, when we get on a boat, we put this away in the gunnel or in a bag, or just not have that same level of accessibility to it? The reason I think is fear of getting wet, fear of dropping this overboard, but that doesn't have to be the case. Just with a few small upgrades like this here, this is just a little quad lock accessories mount, and you can mount it anywhere on your boat. I've got mine on this bar on my console here, and it allows me to mount this here, pivot that 360 degrees, and I can mount my phone, I can mount my action cameras up here like this, I can mount a stills camera, I can mount whatever accessories I want and have access to it when I'm driving this boat at all times, which is really good from a safety point of view, like being able to contact your friends and family, but it's also really good to check weather or just play some music, check the tides, whatever the case may be, take a photo of your fish. The opportunities are endless, but I think gone are the days where you need to worry about your tech on the boat. So it's thanks to little upgrades like this, which allow us to have access to that tech 24/7. I know there's fish here because I can see them. I've got this sonar unit mounted at the front of my boat, which is actually something I wanted to talk about today. I've got two on the boat. I've got one on the console and one at the front, and it's a really handy addition to have on your boat. It takes your fishing vessel from being a good fishing vessel to a great one. And that's because at all times when I'm fishing, I spend 90% of my time up here, I've got the insights being fed back to me by looking at this screen. So right now, I can see that there's fish all around this area. There's bait stacked up. Now, I'm not catching a fish. We can chat about that later. But the point is, you wouldn't have that insight if you constantly had to walk back to the back of the boat and look at it. So we've got chart systems, down scan, side scan. We've got the tides, the sunrise. You've just got everything on this. And if you really want to take yourself from being a good angler to a great angler or improve your skills, a modification like this can go a long, long way. But at the moment, it's not catching me a lot of fish, so I've got to keep trying. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It was taking me a little bit to work it out today, but that seems to be, oh, it's a good flathead. In the net, in the net, in the net. Look at you. Just have a bit of a fish, spend the morning on the water, but more importantly, show you a few little upgrades I've made to my boat. They're not big things, but they make a big difference when you're out on the water. And yes, they cost money, but if you love getting out here and doing this like I do, then maybe that is an investment worth making. Anyway, this one's going back in the water. I'm heading in. Got some work to do this afternoon, but what a morning that was. Righto, mate.